Our story begins in the small town of Campbell, Ohio.
What is your emergency?
Hi, my name is Ken Essenbar. I live in Campbell, Ohio.
Okay.
Me and my wife, we just found a dead body in our freezer.
Dead body?
Our freezer. Yeah.
All right, it's okay, sir. Is it a male? Is it a female?
I think it's a female. I need a Campbell police here right away.
To best tell the story, let's start at the beginning, 5 months earlier. Just a 10-minute drive from Campbell is the historic town of Youngstown, Ohio. Debbie DePaul was born and raised in Youngstown. Debbie, an only child, was 27 years old when she got the shock of her life. She has a younger brother and sister. Debbie learned about her half-brother AJ and 5-year-old half-sister Shannon from her father, whom they all share. Their father received a letter from Shannon's mother with a picture and a note informing him that Shannon was his daughter. As Shannon grows, Debbie and her father make strides to be a part of Shannon's life. Debbie cared for Shannon as if she were her daughter. But as the years went by, Shannon ventured off on her own. Now in her 20s, Shannon was always out and about with her friends. However, she would periodically stop by her father's for Sunday dinner. And according to Debbie, Shannon was always there for birthdays and holidays. But in 2017, Debbie's birthday came and went with no sign of Shannon. Her absence was odd to her family, as she hadn't shown up for Sunday dinner in a while either. The family wasn't worried, as Shannon sometimes went radio silent for weeks. Debbie believed that Shannon was busy with her boyfriend and that she would call in a few days. Then came Easter and eventually Father's Day with no sign of Shannon. With no one in the family hearing from Shannon for months, Debbie and Shannon's father called her boyfriend Arturo and asked where she was. Arturo said that the two had gotten into a big fight, broke up, and that Shannon had moved to Cleveland with a guy. To her family, this didn't sound uncommon for Shannon. She tended to disappear occasionally. After multiple unsuccessful attempts to call Shannon's phone, Shannon's brother AJ sent Shannon a text. A reply came back saying, "Who is this?" AJ said, "Your brother." The following response shook the family to its core. The message read, "I don't have a brother." The family knew that Shannon would never say that. They now believe that someone other than Shannon is using her phone. With this realization, Debbie reported her sister missing on the 22nd of June. When investigators received the report, Shannon had been missing for 4 months. Detectives began their investigation with the strange text message Shannon's brother had received from Shannon's number. Someone else appeared to be using her phone, but they needed the data to confirm their suspicions. Detectives obtained a search warrant for the phone records. However, the results will take a few days. In the meantime, investigators learn as much as they can about Shannon Graves. Shannon got in with the wrong crowd during high school and dropped out after her sophomore year. At that time, Shannon began living with friends and became an exotic dancer. That lifestyle, along with drug use, went on for a few years. Debbie, Shannon's half-sister, introduced Shannon to hairstyling. Through Debbie, Shannon saw a different path to life. Intrigued by this other path, Shannon attends cosmetology school.
Today, Shannon gets to graduate.
I'll be back. Y'all know I'll be back. Get my nails done, my hair done.
Shannon's family, especially Debbie, was glad Shannon was finally getting her footing. Shannon's family told detectives that Shannon lived with her boyfriend Arturo Novoa. When detectives speak with Arturo, he provides them with the same story he told Shannon's family, that Shannon had run off with another guy. This story was suspicious because Arturo still had Shannon's car and her dog, Molly. According to Debbie, Molly was Shannon's baby. The two went everywhere together. Detectives were unable to check Arturo's alibi because they didn't know when Shannon went missing. After a thorough search, detectives could not substantiate Arturo's story. As they dig deeper into Shannon's personal life, her friends reveal a troubling pattern. Shannon had a thing for bad boys. With this in mind, detectives asked Debbie about the other men in Shannon's life. Debbie informed them that Shannon's prior boyfriend, John Scarata, knew her best. John was Shannon's boyfriend before Arturo. A quick search into John uncovered his criminal background, which included drug dealing. John and Shannon broke up when John went to prison. What investigators learned next raised their suspicion. They discovered that John was released from prison a short time before Shannon went missing. The detectives brought John in for an interview. By the end of the interview, it was clear that John was deeply concerned for Shannon. In the following days, John began surveilling Shannon's apartment and led community search parties. Although John appeared helpful, detectives kept him at arm's length as they were unaware of his true intentions. Through the grapevine, John found out about the burning of some of Shannon's belongings at a Youngstown residence. One of the witnesses to this burning event stops by the station to recount what happened.
You have some information about this. We're looking for this girl, Shannon Graves.
Yes, sir. That's been a big thing. I've seen it everywhere now.
It's everywhere. We can't find her. We don't know where she's at. We have the case now, and we're trying to figure out what's going on.
Okay.
Anything you can do about it.
All right. Basically, I know her ex, or whoever everybody's looking at right now, Mr. Arturo.
Okay.
Excuse me. I haven't known him very long, but it's been a couple years. Used to do music with him, that kind of stuff. He was living with me at one of my past residences, and Shannon Graves also moved in because John Shikarda, another one of her exes, asked her to stay there with one of his friends because he knew it would be safe there. I believe Scarata was dating her at that time. At that time when she moved into that house. After about a couple weeks, couple months, something like that, I'm kind of hazy on how long it really took.
Yeah.
I believe she left him, and when she moved out, she went with Arturo.
Okay.
And he moved out as well. Didn't really see him at all after that.
Some people call Arturo Anthony.
Yes, sir.
He has people believe his name is Anthony.
Yeah, he just doesn't tell people his real name. I don't know why. He just does.
Like people that are close to him, like friends.
Well, some of them. I mean, I was close to him for a brief period of time, and I learned his name. So,
okay.
I mean, I don't know how secret he really keeps it, but
yeah,
everybody just calls him Anthony. I hung out with him briefly. I can't remember exactly what the date was, but it was late winter, early spring, somewhere around there. I asked him how everything was going, and he pretty much he told me that she left him. She wasn't staying with him anymore. Basically, what he wanted me to do is he wanted me to help him get rid of the last of her crap that she left there.
Okay.
Like old documents, a couple clothes, stupid shit like that. I figured he was being spiteful, and I kind of helped him burn it. But now, over the months, and everything's going on, she seems to be missing. Nobody seems to be able to know where she is. Everybody's telling different stories, and from what I hear from John, I've heard like 3 or 4 different stories from him, and I'm not liking the way it looks.
Yeah.
And that's why I came into...
John's been calling us around the clock.
Yeah, well, he gave a damn about her.
Yeah.
Like I said, I started feeling like after all this information started coming out, because I didn't even really ask questions about it. When he asked me to just tell me burn that crap.
Yeah.
But from what everybody's telling me, everybody thinks it's foul play, and if that's the case, I feel like I might have been used.
We don't know for sure, but we also can't find her, so
yeah.
It's kind of like...
Well, everybody in town's talking like that.
Yeah.
And it's starting to worry me. Because if that was the case, and if it is foul play, then what the hell did he have me do?
When's the last time you saw her?
Saw her?
Yeah.
Last time I saw her wasn't a personal interaction. It was I saw her driving down the road with him, with Arturo.
Okay.
I'd say that was sometime right after Christmas, I think.
Do you think it was late winter when he asked you to help him get rid of stuff?
Yeah. It was like end of February area.
And he burned it?
Yeah.
How did that go down?
It was just garbage bag, felt like papers and stuff. It really wasn't heavy. One that had like a pair of clothes or something. I pretty much just grabbed some sticks, went to my buddy's house, started a fire, and I said, there you go. Sure.
So, of the things that were burned, papers and clothing?
Yes, sir.
Personal items?
I believe so. Like I said, I really didn't look in the bags. I didn't really ask him any questions. I figured he was just being spiteful. So, I mean, she said she left him.
Did he elaborate on that?
That's really all he really told me. She left him for some other dude, and that was it.
Best we could tell, the last people to actually lay eyes on her was around February 17th, right after Valentine's Day. There was a birthday party. One of John's friends she was at. And after that, John doesn't hear from her no more, and nobody sees her again. So what we're thinking here is, if something happened to her, it's an if right now, it could happen between the last time anybody saw her and when you guys were burning the stuff. Because I would assume he wouldn't be burning the stuff if she was still alive. But he's also driving her car and living in her apartment.
Did he also have his own girlfriend at the time?
When he got together with her?
Yeah.
No.
Leading up to it? I mean, Katrina?
Trina Layton. Yeah, that's not what I would consider a girlfriend. I don't think he's ever used that term either. From what I remember them telling me about their story, she's pretty much been there for him like a wife, but they've never been a thing, at least in his eyes. And that was honestly one of the reasons why I couldn't stand being around them two together, is they would just be at each other's throats all the time, yelling and screaming at each other about stupid stuff.
Are you talking about Katrina, or are you talking?
Yeah, they would both, like Katrina and Arturo, would kind of just yell at each other over and over and over again about stupid shit. Like, she'd get overly paranoid and say like he's cheating on her or something with some chick off of Facebook, for example. She would start an argument over it, and of course the typical man response is like, "What are you even talking about? It's a chick I just added on Facebook," kind of, mentality. And then it would boil over into, I wouldn't exactly say like screaming, it's just like aggravated yelling at each other.
Does Katrina have kids?
Yes.
Are they his?
No. But he has helped take care of them.
Yeah.
At a certain point.
They were on and off together for a couple of years.
Yeah, I guess you could say that. Like I said, they never used the term relationship together or anything like that in my presence. In fact, they both kind of agreed that that's never been a thing. But pretty sure Trina really wanted it to be.
What's your feeling on this?
On the whole thing? Well, obviously I came down to give a statement. I'm worried myself. Like I said, if everybody at this point is thinking it's foul play, that's not good. That's not good for the situation at all. When everybody really started saying they thought it was foul play, I started thinking about that fire, and then John brought it up, and I said, you know what? I've seen too many crime shows. This does not look good. And if this is what happened, he just made me an accessory, and I don't like that. I don't like feeling used. I feel like if that was what the case was, then he was trying to take me down with him. Like I said, I watch a lot of crime shows. I know, I understand the fact that the longer somebody's been missing, the less chances there are of actually finding them. I said that doesn't look good, because he said they pulled a bracelet out of the fire. Like a pit or something.
We keep hearing that there was a bracelet.
Who pulled a bracelet?
He said the landlord of the property did. And I said, if that's the case, that's something she wouldn't leave behind.
Landlord of which property?
The Sherwood.
If stuff was getting burned and we didn't know what the stuff was, and we found out it was a bracelet, then how do we know it's hers anyway?
He said it was engraved with her name.
Oh, well. But if he's burning her shit, what's the difference if it's a bracelet or...
Well, like I said, if it's something that has her name engraved on it, that seems like something that would be rather important to her, in my opinion.
Personal.
Yes, very personal.
As opposed to
that, and they're saying that
her normal belongings.
That, and from what I hear, he still has a dog.
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
And from when I lived with her, that dog was treated better than a freaking toddler. Like, that was her baby. I don't see why he has her dog. I don't see why she would leave it. And like I said, I've watched crime shows, and when he said that bracelet was pulled out, it was engraved with her name, that's a personal item, he was burning her stuff, I started thinking about it more and more, and I'm like, that just doesn't look good. I've seen this movie.
John went over to the house, and he collected a laundry basket that has a bunch of ashes and stuff in it. So our crime lab guys are sifting through a pile of ashes now to figure out what the heck was in there. The fire department was called that day, so it makes it kind of gives us a nice marker of what day it was. Otherwise, who would know what day you had a fire? I wouldn't. So, you guys brought a bag over there?
Yeah, felt like shoes, like heels. I didn't really look in it myself either.
Okay.
Just kind of brought it there because we were supposed to burn the fire.
You guys made a trip over there with one bag.
Well, we needed to go get something to start the fire. I needed lighter fluid, so it was kind of wet.
But you had other stuff to burn too, right?
Yeah, but those were in trash bags.
At any point, did you come to know what was in the bag?
No, I did not. I believe that was just tossed in.
The whole bag.
Yeah. You didn't care about the bag.
The trash bags. What was in them? Clothes?
Like I said, it was like papers, I think almost clothes. It was real light shit. It really wasn't all that heavy.
How many bags? Were it trash bags?
Yeah, there was like 2 trash bags.
Hmm.
Black ones.
Not a lot of stuff.
Not too much. Like I said, it was more paperwork just kind of tossed in the bag. And
Is there anything that led you to believe that what he was doing was destroying evidence?
not at the time, but after I started thinking about it, when the missing reports came up, that's why I came.
Do you have any personal knowledge that she's dead?
Yes, sir.
Anything that would lead you to believe that you mentioned anything, that something went wrong?
He didn't mention anything. He said she left him for some other dude.
Didn't say who, no details, no nothing. Everybody thinks he killed him, which is a logical jump, I guess, but
Yeah,
now they're freaked out because
I don't.
some killer was burning his dead girlfriend shit in her yard, you know what I mean? So
If
they're a
that-
little freaked out.
If that was the case, I really highly doubt that. He doesn't seem like the type to do that. I mean, then again, you hardly know people anymore.
Yeah.
If I had to say, I don't think he would. He did spend time in prison, so I'm sure he's got that mentality where he's got to do what he's got to do. But I've never seen him have really any urge to be violent.
Did Katrina know anything about it?
That's hard to say, but last I checked, she was probably the closest one to him.
Looking at things, here's a guy who calls you up to help him burn his shit at some people's house that he doesn't know. There's you and those people. That's a lot of people to involve if he did something wrong. You know what I mean? Like,
Right. Like I said, I wasn't really thinking about it.
yeah, no, I mean, that's a whole lot of people that, I mean, if you killed somebody, would you call somebody to help you burn the clothes at somebody's house that you never met?
Right, you figure that's something you just do on your own.
Yeah. The only reason I can see that he would ask you to do that, if he did that, is if you knew, if you saw. Otherwise, if I killed you right now and he wasn't in the room, I would never tell him about it. If he was in the room, I'd be like, we gotta get rid of him. Make sense?
Right.
So, the only reason, if he actually did something to her, and we're not, still an F, we don't know, we don't have a body, and we don't have her anywhere, alive or dead, would be as if you actually had personal knowledge. So,
Like I said, that's all that really went down. I wish I could give you more.
no, I know, I understand. As time goes by, when she doesn't show up, if she doesn't, alive, or if she shows up dead, it's going to become a murder. And he's going to be a prime suspect. And the facts of the case would be, this girl was last seen in February. You were burning her shit in March, and you were helping burn the shit. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean you know something, but it looks like you know something. If you have any other knowledge, this is a good time. If it's even rumor, if it's something he just said in passing, if you happen to be there when he lost his shit and killed her, and it was like, holy f***, you just do that, this would be the time.
No, I feel like he was playing me like a pawn.
Well, here's the problem. You see the problem I'm getting at?
Yeah.
She don't show up. The longer this goes on, the worse it looks. She does show up, but she ain't breathing. I mean, you know, we start close to home. Because that's usually who kills you. Somebody knows you. So she shows up dead. I mean, you and him, I don't know how close you are,
Not very.
but yeah, if you kill somebody in front of somebody else, your relationship becomes real complicated real fast. In not good ways. So
Yeah. Like I
I
said,
mean, I don't
go.
think he'd come and kill you. Then again, maybe he would. You're kind of a loose end. But when we're talking about loose ends, we got loose end number 1, loose end number 2. This is a sloppy kind of deal. When you kill somebody in a fit of rage, you kind of don't have a plan.
Well, it's a crime of passion.
And you f things up.
Yeah, that would be a crime of passion.
You get emotional.
So, boyfriend, girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, the John factor, all this stuff going on. This guy f***ed up and does something stupid. Kind of makes sense. Do you have other knowledge about this crime?
No, sir.
Or
I'm just
or
worried
that there
about,
even was a crime? Because right now,
at this point, I'm just worried like he used me. Like I said, that's what I'm scared of. I feel like, because everybody else is saying that. They think it's foul play. And like you said, even a rumor can screw somebody over. Yeah, I understand how rumors can destroy somebody's life real quick.
there's another way your life gets destroyed real quick is you watch a guy kill somebody and you're a loose end. That ruins your life real quick too.
Well, I didn't watch anybody kill anybody.
Okay. Another way you ruin your life real quick is you know about it and he knows. That ruins your life real quick too. If you know something about this, we need to know. Number one, we got a girl we can't find, and we have no idea what to look for.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah. And he has the opportunity to kill you. I would. I haven't met one person yet who told me that they had any idea why you would do anything with this girl.
No, I didn't.
Well, I wouldn't think you did. Wouldn't accuse you of that.
Well, I was kind of raised with a decent respect.
Okay.
I am.
Well, you're raised with something that isn't common anymore. So,
Ain't that the truth?
yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't think you did anything to her. That's not why you're here. You're here because it looks like you helped them dispose of what might have been evidence. And for anybody to do that, to allow somebody to see that, I would think they'd have to be so deep with that person that it didn't matter. Otherwise, why do that? I wouldn't burn my wife's shit if I killed her with you.
Yeah.
And I sure as hell wouldn't do it with some friends of yours. So,
Yeah.
if you're holding in something about this, please let me know so I can find this baby, this girl, and get her family some peace. And get this guy out of the way, because it sounds to me like this guy did something bad.
I'm not gonna lie, you've made me rather paranoid today.
I'm not trying to make you paranoid, I'm trying to make you unparanoid. This guy tell you something about what happened?
No, he did not.
You know something about what happened?
No.
By some other means?
No.
I'm telling you that what you explained to us happening is understandable, and we're not even remotely thinking of charging you with destroying evidence. Number one, we don't know that it is evidence. That's it.
Okay.
You don't know nothing else.
Yes, sir. If I think of anything, I'll give you a call.
Over the next few days, detectives collect statements and search for Shannon. As they searched, the phone records for Shannon's cell phone number came back. Based on the cell tower data, Shannon's phone made its normal daily route to her workplace and back. However, that normal routine stopped at the end of February. In the following months, Shannon's cell carrier reassigned her number to a new customer due to no activity from the number and lack of payment. Shannon's bank statements showed no activity since the end of February. With the phone record and bank statement dead ends, detectives and Shannon's family were losing hope. July 29, 2017, 5 months after Shannon disappeared. In the nearby town of Campbell, a 911 call comes in.
Mama, what is your emergency?
Hi, my name is Crimetastic. I live in Campbell, Ohio.
Okay.
Me and my wife, we just found a dead body in our freezer.
Dead body?
Our freezer up. Yeah.
Alright, it's okay, sir. Is it a male? Is it a female?
I think it's a female. I need a Campbell police there right away.
Campbell police responded to the home on Devitt Avenue. They detained the homeowners and secured the scene. At that time, Campbell police had no missing persons in their town. so Campbell detectives called nearby law enforcement offices to notify them of the discovery of a female body. With Youngstown just a 10-minute drive away, Youngstown investigators responded to the scene. They are ushered to the back of the house and into the basement. Black trash bags littered the basement floor with a chest freezer nearby. The black bags and a Home Depot bucket had been inside of the chest freezer. What they found inside the trash bags was horrifying. The trash bags contained body parts. Every part of the human body was there except for the head. Detectives locate a tattoo on one of the severed legs. That tattoo and the rest of the body fit Shannon Graves' description. Believing that the body was Shannon's, Youngstown investigators took over the case. Stunned at the scene in front of them, detectives are naturally suspicious of the couple who placed the 911 call. The homeowners, Ken and Jill Eschenbaugh, are brought to the station for an interview.
So the reason we're here today is because you found something in your basement today. But there's a story that leads up to this. So, can you start from the beginning? I know we've talked to you, but we're slowed down and we're...
my head's kind of calmed down too.
Yeah, well, I mean, this doesn't happen every day. So now we're calmed down, things are under control. So, what happened?
Today?
Well, start from the beginning of this story.
Why don't you start with how you met Anthony?
Okay, I met Anthony. I went over to my neighbor's house, and I was playing some music that I made, and then Anthony was there. He liked the music. He said he was a rapper, you know. Everybody's a rapper. Right. But he really liked my music, you know, and could we work something out, right? I said, okay, and I didn't think much of it because I always heard that from people. Then like 2 days later, he actually knocks on my door, you know. He had long hair, ponytail.
Right.
How long ago was this?
This had to be, I'm guessing, I'm really about on time though, sorry, but I'd say between 4 and 4.5 years ago.
Okay.
And he said, hey man, I was going to hit you up on that music, I'll listen up. So, we got along, and he just started hanging around, and, you know, we started playing Xbox together, you know, just typical friendship stuff, you know. And then me and my wife would help him out, you know. I said they had 2 kids down there, they always had gas off, or electric off, or water off, or something. We just help him out, you know, I mean, that's how we started, that's how we became friends. He was always with this Trina girl on and off, right? Like, she'd get her income tax return, he'd be with her. And then that would run out, and then he'd be off with some other girl, and then income tax come. He does like 3 years in a row. He goes back with her because she gets like $6,000-7,000 or something.
Do you know this girl named Star?
I knew her from when Anthony brought her to the house.
And when was that?
First time I brought her was last summer.
That was like his girlfriend at the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Did they get along?
When the first couple times they came over, yeah, they got along. But then after that, they just a lot of fighting and stuff. I even asked him, with the same problem as his other girlfriend, Trina, I asked him not to bring her around no more. And I asked him not to bring Star around no more because they sat outside the house, you know, yelling back and forth at each other, happening this and that. Come on, my language right there, you know.
Yeah.
I just asked him not to bring her around anymore.
Star?
Yeah.
Did you ask her not to bring Katrina around too?
Yeah.
So you had the same problem?
Yeah, because they're always fighting, this way.
So whenever he's with either one of them, he's fighting one of them?
Mm-hmm.
But it didn't start out that way?
No.
Okay. When's the last time you saw Star?
Oh boy, let's see. It's been a while. It was the end of last summer. I guess it was around the end of last summer. Actually, it was starting to get cold because the pool water was getting too cold to swim. In fact, they came and they went to swim and it was too cold to swim. So it got to be like the very end of the summer. I remember we got some mics, hard lemonade, you know, sat outside underneath the umbrella and thing. We drank a couple beers and then we had a little bit of weed. We smoked some weed. He went home. That's the last time I saw her.
Do you know her real name?
No, I just heard you say it though, but I didn't know her name.
If we showed you a picture of her, could you identify her?
Yeah.
So, Monday, July 17th, he brings his freezer over. You tell him where to put it?
Yeah. I told him, I said, as soon as you walk in the basement door, there's a little thing, just put it in there, you know. I said, there's a plug right there you can plug it into.
Did you notice at the time there was a padlock on it?
I didn't even look at the freezer. When he brought it out of the thing, he was on top. He got the top, Mike got the bottom of it, and Anthony got the top, you know, of it, and they carried it. And I didn't look at it or anything. And then you come down, you say, hey, your outlet doesn't work. I said, oh, we got struck by lightning last week, like right at the pole, and some of our outlets got burned out.
So he brings his freezer over, puts it in the basement, and Your power doesn't work.
That outlet by them close to the thing doesn't work. Right.
So you had to get an extension cord.
Right. Get that big orange one that's in my basement now. It's his.
So they call you about 3. They don't get there till 11.
Mm-hmm.
When they come, they put it in the basement. Your power doesn't work, so he has to leave, go get an extension cord, and come back. Then he plugs it in. Now, when do you first notice there's a padlock on this thing?
The next day, my wife, she washed clothes. She come up. She goes, "There's a padlock on the freezer." I'm like, "A padlock?" I said, "Why would you put it?" I said, "What? He don't trust us?" That's why I said, "Why you don't trust us? We're going to eat his meat." That's what I said. We're going to eat his meat. And then me and my wife started discussing what he's talking about Star. Like, what a Star is in here. I mean, just like kind of joking, but kind of not joking.
At that point, you knew she was missing?
I just had found out maybe, I get goosebumps, I'm sorry. I found out like maybe a week and a half. It's when he was at my house and this Trina was calling him. And he was like, "Stop, don't freak out, stop freaking out." And then he hung up and she called back again. He's like, "Just go in the house."
When was that?
That was the night I fixed his computer. So the 17th I brought the freezer. I think it was 2 or 3 days later is when I wiped out his computer. And that's the night Trina called him. And I asked him, I said, "What's going on? Why are you freaking out?"
So on Monday night, he brings the freezer.
Mm-hmm.
On Tuesday, you find the padlock.
Mm-hmm.
And you already know Star's missing.
Yeah.
And you jokingly say, "I wonder if Star's in there."
Right.
Arturo, Anthony. You know him as Anthony. Do you know him as Arturo?
No.
You don't know that that's his real name?
I mean, I know that it is his real name, but I don't know which way I mean last name. Yeah, that's the last.
Picture.
Oh, that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Anthony. Yeah, that's Star.
That's Star.
Katrina and Anthony, pretty tight. You think she knows about this?
I personally, you mean like my personal opinion? Absolutely. They never had any money. He just got the job out of the back. That freezer looked brand new to me. We were talking about what to have for dinner, you know. I said, "Well, I can make some spaghetti sauce or whatever." And I was over there for maybe a half hour or so, 40 minutes. Came back, sit on the couch smoking a cigarette. My wife sitting next to me. And she's just sitting there, and I just look on her face. You know, I've been together 30 years. And I said, "What's the matter?" Oh. She said, "I opened that freezer up downstairs." And I said, "And?" She said, "There's a 5-gallon bucket and a big black garbage bag." I said, "Did you look in it?" She said, "No." And she was like, "Thank you." I said, "You want me to go down? You want me to go down and see?" She said, "Yeah."
She went down and unscrewed the hasp. Why?
Because she said, because she wanted to see if there's any hamburger in there. She didn't make spaghetti sauce. I think it was gnawing
It
at
just
her,
got to her.
and she wanted to see. But
It's your house.
right, I'm
You
saying,
got a freezer in your basement,
right,
and
then
a
it has a
padlock on it.
You're paying for this guy
Right.
to run a freezer at your house.
Well, that's another thing. He said, "I'll give you $100 a week to keep it." I
$100.
said, "Anthony, $100 I said, "Your rent's $450 a month." I said, "Just throw me like $20 a month, or you know, whatever for the electric bill or whatever."
He offered $100
I
a
said, "I'll
week.
give you $100 a week."
Well, the light had to go off when he said that.
It did. I'm like, well, first I thought maybe he just misspoke, or maybe, you know what I mean. He said, "I'll give you $100 a week, or whatever." That's how you followed up, or whatever. I said, "Anthony, God, I thought we were friends."
So
I'm
he
like,
brought a
"Don't worry."
locked freezer to your house and
I didn't-
offered to give you $100 a week.
Yeah, well, I didn't know it was locked.
Yeah.
My wife told me. I just figured, well, you don't want us to eat the meat. I went down, I undid it, and I opened it. As soon as I opened it, my stomach just flipped. Then I just like, what? That's how you store your meat? So I picked up the bag that was pretty heavy, the big one. And I picked up the 5-gallon bucket, and I set it down, and I open it, and there's a backpack. I'm like, take the backpack out, open up, there's a green garbage bag. Open up the green garbage bag, another green garbage bag. But it's frozen frozen
Big
together.
solid block.
Right. So got these scissors, and it smells really bad. I'm like, why would it? That's when I knew. I was like, why would you wouldn't put rotten meat in the freezer and freeze it, and then rot in the freezer because it would be frozen. And Joel and my wife's looking, and it just looks so weird to me. I've seen lots of rotten meat and things working in restaurants and things. And my wife said, "Nah," she said, "just put it back in the thing." I said, "No, Joe, I'm looking." I said, I've never seen nothing like this. No kind of meat or nothing like this. I had the other bag sitting on the floor. I couldn't get the knot out. It was like frozen. I just couldn't do it, and then the strength to get it out. She said, "You want me to get you some scissors?" I said, "Yeah." She brought me down a pair of scissors.
Well, hell yeah, you got to get in there
Right.
now.
I said,
right?
I got to see what's in here, And then I'm like, it's not covered. Meat's not covered. And then recognized the foot and the thing, and I just like, my wife grabbed her head and I grabbed mine.
You knew it was a body.
I said, I turned around, I said, call the police. And she didn't, she was freaked out, so I just took the phone and I didn't call nobody, nothing. I called Camel Police. I only saw her girl 4 or 5 times, but she only talked about 2 things, her dad and her dog. How close she was to her dad and how much she loved her dog. And then he's driving her car and he has her dog, and that's when I started actually thinking maybe he did something.
Because you handle things at the scene, we want to take a DNA swab from you. It consists of 2 cotton swabs in your mouth. For elimination purposes, we're going to be looking at the freezer and the body and the tools and all that. And when we start sending stuff in, they're going to want DNA from you and from your wife. And that's,
Whatever you guys need.
You all right?
Yep. It's just like, you know what I mean? It's like outer space. I'm like in outer space or something.
The detectives then interview Ken's wife, Jill.
Jill Eschenbaugh? Mm-hmm. Jill, the reason we asked you to come down here is because you called the Camel Police to your house today for some human remains you found. And we believe it might be related to a missing that we have here in Youngstown. We've been looking for a girl for a little while. Can you tell me what happened today?
Today, my husband went over to his friend's house, and I was thinking about what to make for dinner. And I didn't have any hamburger in our freezer, so I thought maybe there might be some in there. So I went down, and I knew that the padlock was on that freezer, and so I took a little screwdriver down with me, and I just unscrewed it. And when I opened it up, I saw the black trash bag and that 5-gallon bucket with the orange lid. And I saw that, and my stomach flipped, and I just shut it. And I put the screws and stuff back in, and my husband came home like maybe 10 minutes later. And he knew something was wrong, so he sat down on the couch, and he said, what's wrong? And I told him what I saw, and he said, well, he goes, you stay up here, and I'm going to go down and take, see what it is. So he went down, and he took the screws and stuff out of it again, and he opened it up, I guess, and he was down there just for a couple minutes, and I stuck my head down, and I went down the steps, and I just sat down on the steps, and he was taking that black bag out of the backpack. There's a red backpack. He tried to open up that, and I think I wanted to get scissors because it was tied real tight. And I gave him a thing of scissors, and he cut that open. And then there was another bag inside of that bag, and he cut that one open. And when he tried to open it up, it smelled horrible. I thought it was spoiled meat at first. I was hoping that it was just spoiled meat. And I said, it just stinks too bad. I said, just put it back. I said, just wrap it up and put it back, get it back there. And he went to go open the other one, and it was the same thing. It was tied, and then he cut that one, and he opened, there was another bag inside of that. And when he cut that open, that's when he saw the foot in the back.
Okay.
And he said, it's a foot. And I said, no, it can't be. And I went over to where he was at, and I was like, oh my God, it is. And then we both went upstairs, and he went out I went upstairs to check on my son, and he went out and called the police, and then they came after that.
Legally, there's nothing wrong with you looking in the freezer. So, it's not a big deal if you were like, man, I need to know what's in this freezer, and you open up this freezer, but, I mean, is that what happened? I mean,
I really was just looking for stuff for dinner tonight. I really was.
What I'm trying to tell you is there's nothing wrong with you saying, hey, this is weird, I need to look at it.
Right. I mean, at the time when I saw the padlock, did I think that was weird? Yeah, I even told my husband that. I said, why would you put a padlock
well, you said
on
you guys kind of
freezer?
joked around and said, well, maybe Shannon's in there.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't really think that was that, no. I wouldn't even...
Yeah. Well, I mean, you're kid around, but...
I wouldn't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's weird.
Right. I just would never.
Okay.
I still can't believe it.
With Ken and Jill's matching statements and their lack of a motive to kill Shannon, detectives let them go. Investigators focus on the man who brought the freezer to Ken's house. Ken identified him as Arturo Novoa, aka Anthony Gonzalez. He was Shannon's boyfriend at the time she disappeared. With the witness's identification and Shannon's name on the lease, detectives obtained a search warrant for Arturo and his girlfriend Katrina Layton's residence. That residence was Shannon's former apartment. During the apartment search, detectives observed a large meat cleaver stuck in the front door frame. They also found a lease agreement signed by Arturo for a different property. Detectives discover another item in the apartment, an owner's manual to the same model of freezer housing the body. Samples of what appeared to be blood on the apartment walls were collected. The blood in the apartment, the freezer manual, and all of the circumstantial evidence they had were enough to obtain arrest warrants for both Arturo and Katrina.
The question is, where was she between February and July?
I don't know. I didn't even.
Right now, she's in your freezer.
Well,
So-
that I didn't know.
Oh, okay. You know, I told you about 10 times that the missing girl is dead in your freezer. I'm looking for some kind of reaction. But
Because
You don't look shocked at all.
Yeah.
No, it's not that. I'm just trying to process everything.
Oh, okay. Let me ask you something. Forget all this. Did you kill her?
Hell no.
Were you there when she was killed?
No.
Okay.
What?
Well, sure looks like you did.
No. What do you mean? It looks like I did.
She's in your freezer, the one you paid for. So it kind of looks like you killed her.
I can't sit in this room with the door shut. I'm getting claustrophobic.
You used the small rooms.
I didn't do anything to this girl.
You used the small rooms.
How are you going to accuse me of this? What the man?
Detectives then speak with Arturo.
Must be serious enough to pull me out of work.
Yeah. I wouldn't do that if I didn't have to.
I missed out on 4 hours of work today.
Okay. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to read you your rights. I'm going to tell you what changed, and I'm going to have questions for you. You may want to answer them, you may not. You may have questions for me. I don't know. You're definitely under arrest. I wouldn't have sent them out there if there wasn't a warrant for your arrest. Let me start out by reading your rights.
I don't have to answer anything now, even though I'm signing this, right? But
No,
it's just
correct.
allowing me to question.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't have to answer anything you don't want to. Okay. The other day I asked you about the rumors about you burning things up.
Yes.
Okay. You told me you did.
Correct.
Okay. Is that still true?
Correct.
You did not burn things up.
I did not.
Okay. Did you, at any point, take a freezer to a house in Campbell?
I did not.
You did not.
I did not.
Okay. So you didn't go to Kenny Eschenbaugh's house on Devitt with a freezer, with a padlock on it, and put it in his basement?
I did not.
You did.
And leave and go get an extension cord and plug it back in.
You didn't do that.
I did not.
Okay. Okay. So, up until now, has anything we talked about not been true?
Everything.
The last time you saw Shannon was when?
I
Can't
don't
remember.
even know. Like the end of February.
Okay. You have no idea what became of her? Where
I
she
do
ended
not.
up?
I do not. I have said this to everybody.
Okay. When I told you the other day at your house that some people who were acquaintances of yours said that you burned her things up.
Okay.
Okay. Now,
I don't understand how, like, acquaintance of who exactly means. Because I don't know anybody that she personally knows. Which was
talking about your people that know you, not her.
Oh.
Okay. People that know you said this, that you burned her things up. Now I have people that know you saying you brought a freezer to her house. When they opened it up, guess what they found?
What did they find, sir?
Why do you think you're here? The charge is abuse of a corpse.
Excuse me?
Abuse of a corpse?
Are you being serious right now?
I'm not fooling with you, man.
You're
I
100%
would
serious
not
right
make this
now.
up. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't believe it.
Well, I wouldn't be sitting here with you at, 10 o'clock at night, none, if I wasn't talking about a body in a freezer that you brought to a
You
guy's
gotta be
house.
kidding.
I'm not making it up, man. I'm trying to figure out how all these people that are not her friends, they're people that you know, are saying this.
Alrighty then. Wow. Alrighty then. Something's wrong here. This is up.
It's
I need to make a phone call.
It's kind of too many people.
The thing is, I don't do anything but work and sleep. So when somebody tells me that they're even remotely talking about me or saying anything about me at all, it kind of baffles me.
Okay.
Because all I do is work and sleep, work and sleep, work and sleep.
Okay. Got all these people who know you.
Well, we're going to have to, I'm definitely going to have to make a phone call.
Okay.
Because this is some up shit that you're telling me.
Yeah.
And I don't really believe you, but I have no choice but to believe you because I'm sitting here.
No, we don't do this for.
We wouldn't make it up.
We sure as shit wouldn't arrest you for this not having happened.
Right.
You know what I mean? Obviously.
So I basically got all these fingers just being pointed at me.
And we're really kind of hoping that it's Shannon.
This is
because if it's not, then this guy says you brought a body to his house and it's somebody else and Shannon's still missing, then what are you, some kind of serial killer? So we're hoping it's Shannon.
Definitely not, man. This is going to take so long. I'm going to lose my job.
You're going to lose your job? Did you hear what I said? This ain't about your Outback dishwasher job anymore. There's a body in a freezer. And the guy said you brought it to his house.
Yeah.
Now, whether it's her or not, you understand whether it's her or not, doesn't matter. Your dishwasher job at Outback is okay? That's a weird thing for you to say. Like, my job's
I'm trying to tell you, like, if I'm trying to tell you I don't know what the telling me, then obviously, I mean, excuse my language, but
okay.
If you're trying to tell me all these fingers are pointing
at
me, and
I'm telling you,
supposedly went to this house and supposedly put this thing in this guy's house, this is insanity to me. It really is. So I'm trying to figure out where something might have, like, somewhere might have went wrong.
I'm telling you that 4 people who know you said you burned her shit up, and now 2 people who know you said you brought a freezer with a body in it to their house, and you're talking to me about your dishwasher job. I'm like, what the f is wrong with you? Because that is not the normal reaction.
I just got done telling you I don't talk to a lot of people.
Okay.
Like, at all.
4 people.
I can count the amount of people that I talk to in my hand.
4 people saw you burning your shit, and 2 people said you dropped the freezer off at their house with a body in it. Did you hear what it said?
I'm hearing what you're telling me.
All right. So I don't care who you talk to and what you do with your personal life.
Why would I do something like that is my point.
I have no idea why you would do something like that. None. I've got a few ideas. I even got a few ideas that you didn't do something like that. But you know who did. But that's something I would like to hear from you. So I've tried to learn everything I can about what's going on in your life to the best I can do without being in your life. Because you are a private person.
And what have you learned from my life, sir?
There's a couple people in your life. You're getting pushed and pulled in a couple different directions. You've got a job. You had a few scrapes with us. Nothing serious. I've learned that inside your apartment there was some blood, which don't really look too good right now when this girl's missing. I would like to know.
The only blood that I can possibly think that you might have found in my
apartment. There's a lot of reasons.
There's
a lot of reasons why there might be blood in your apartment. But when you add that onto the fact that these people saw you burning some shit, and when we went through the shit, figured out it was hers because her bracelet was in there. And when you add in that these other people who know you have a freezer in their basement that they say you brought over there, it kind of, we're past the point of no return on this thing. Like, you didn't bring no freezer with a body in it, and you don't know what's going on.
Right.
That don't happen. So there's a big part of your life that I'm not a part of, and that would be the part where you got a freezer with a body in it. I wasn't with you. So,
like, how do I end up in this position?
It would be very interesting to me to find out how you came upon a freezer with a body in it. That would be very interesting to me right now. It would also be very interesting to me if that's Shannon in there. It's a bad thing to say, but I'm hoping it is, because if it ain't, then I got to wonder what the f*** I got here. If you got a freezer with a body in it and it ain't hers, what the f***? See what I'm saying? So I got a lot of questions, and none of them are good. You have an apartment that was your missing girlfriend's apartment that you're still living in.
It used to be ours, but yes.
Yeah. You also have a new house that you guys are paying rent on and you don't live in. And according to Katrina, the only thing that you guys owned in that place was this freezer. You have a half a house that you're paying for that you don't live in, that you don't keep nothing in there but a freezer that just happens to have your dead ex-girlfriend in it. So it kind of looks bad.
I don't have anything in that house. We literally
Not
had no
anymore,
furniture,
no,
nothing. We literally had nothing in that apartment.
So you never moved anything into that apartment?
We never moved nothing in that apartment.
Okay.
Like, we had nothing in there. All we did was just pay the rent. All we did was just simply get an apartment ahead of time so we had a place to lay our head. You know? Okay. My lease is up in September. Like, I gotta make sure I got a place to stay. I mean, yeah, I got my apartment on the east side, but that thing is just, it's basically tore down already. Like, I have no bathroom there. I can't really have company there. I do music. I can't really be loud there. I mean, I can barely walk without my mother screaming at me. So, I mean, I don't really have any leg room over there.
We're like way off the beaten path of what we're really talking about here. There's a freezer with a body in it in Camel that the guy that you do music with says you brought there.
It's impossible because I didn't do no such thing.
Okay. Shannon has a direction card. She did. And Shannon's direction card got used in a bunch of places after she went missing, at the same time that yours did. Did you?
I don't understand how, if I don't even know exactly when she's even come up missing, to even know that she's missing in the first place.
Well, we do.
Okay. So
how any of this would make sense to me in the first place.
Okay. Well, let's make sense of that. Do you use Shannon's direction card regularly?
No, I used to. She was around.
Until when?
Till the last time she was around.
Which was when?
I just told you. I don't have a direct. You want me to give you an exact date? I feel like you guys are trying to catch me up.
Give us a month.
Give me a month.
Some crap.
Give me a month.
February.
Okay. So in March and April, when you were using her direction card, did you happen to be with her, and just you're not telling us you were with her? Were you helping her hide out?
So you want to ask me about somebody else's direction card when you know that it's illegal to share, trade, or sell food stamps in the first place. And you want to sit here and ask me about somebody's direction card?
Yeah, I do, yeah. Wow. Absolutely.
As if what you're telling me isn't bad enough.
As if after I tell you about a body in a freezer, direction card fraud is baby shit, yeah. Absolutely.
Can I make a phone call? Because I'm going to need to obviously get a hold of a lawyer.
Oh, would you like to talk to a lawyer?
I would like to call my lawyer, yes.
Okay.
With Arturo denying any involvement, detectives speak with Katrina again.
I wanted a new freezer for the house because we needed it for the fridge and the freezer.
Katrina, he's going to say he doesn't know nothing about no freezer and you're making that up.
Well, then how did her body get in a freezer over to Kenny's?
Exactly.
I don't know that. I mean, I gave him the money. I thought he was buying one. I don't know.
Listen, if you gave him money to buy a freezer, and there's a freezer.
It was supposed to be at the new house. That's all I know. I know I didn't kill her. I have kids. I have a job. I know I didn't kill her.
All he's got to do is trade you for him. That's it. You see where this is going? You understand we're at the end of this road?
So what am I supposed to do?
Just tell the truth. I don't care what you said before. Just tell the truth. Tell us what you know about everything. Stop doing this and just tell the truth. It's not going to get better.
No, I know that.
Okay.
I just know I gave him the money to buy the freezer. I thought.
Trina, tell me everything you know about everything. It's the only way to fix this.
I just know what he told me. I don't know what he did.
Tell me what he told you.
When I moved in, he told me that she was gone, that she left with some guy in his car, and that I'm sorry. And she left with some guy, and she took all her stuff. And then she said she was gonna be back for the dog. And then she never came back for the dog. And he said that they had an agreement about the car. That he was gonna drive the car until she came back for it. And then she didn't go back for the car either.
You understand this looks like you did it and he helped you.
I know.
That's what it looks like. And me sitting here trying to be impartial, I can't assume he killed her. I can't. He was getting what he wanted from her. The only person with motive here was you, hon. Understand? See what I'm saying?
I get it, but I mean, why would I even do something like that? I have my kids, I have my job.
Your boyfriend. You understand how many people are in jail for that? It's not complicated. It's real simple. She took what was yours.
Yeah, but that doesn't make me a killer. No, you're right. I've been in those situations.
Of course not.
I didn't like her, but I didn't.
I understand that. But you gotta understand what it looks like. She screwed your boyfriend, then she disappeared, and then you got all her shit. And she's in your freezer that he says he don't know nothing about. Just tell me what happened. It's gotta be better than what it looks. It can't be as bad as it looks.
I mean, I didn't.
It cannot be as bad as it looks, can it?
I don't know anymore.
Katrina, did you kill her?
No.
Okay. Did you take her apart?
No.
Did you put her in that freezer?
No.
Did you put her in Kenny's house?
No, I didn't even go to Kenny's.
Okay. So tell me what did happen. Because nothing you're saying is making no sense, huh? You can't leave it like this. It doesn't make any sense. Nobody's going to look at what you say and think it's reasonable. Nobody.
Sorry, they're my kids. I didn't kill her.
You understand, you are swearing this on your kids because when you go,
I didn't kill
you understand
her,
what's going to happen to you?
I didn't kill her.
You're going to go over there and you're not going to come back for a long time.
I didn't kill her.
This is it. You're leaving. You're going for a ride. This is it right now. This is your moment. What you do in the next 30 seconds is going to depend on what happens the rest of your life. And probably your kids.
I understand.
Okay.
I'm trying not to panic because...
I don't want you to panic. No reasonable alternative. Right?
What do you mean?
You don't have any reasonable explanation for why this woman's in your freezer.
I mean, obviously somebody put her there.
Okay.
Obviously.
Thanks.
But if Anthony did it, then he needs to fess up to it.
Not if he didn't do it. Not if you did it. If he's helping you, then he doesn't need to fess up to it. And he has his rights too, you understand?
I understand.
Okay. He didn't buy a freezer. You did. He didn't buy an apartment. You did. He was getting what he wanted from her and you. Why would he kill her?
I was just under the assumption that we were getting back on our feet.
You're not getting back on your feet.
Because I was...
It's not going to be okay.
I was trying to pay stuff.
He's going to jail and so are you. You're not going to get back on your feet. That's not going to happen now. That's done.
But I'm telling you, I didn't kill her. Why are you asking me if did I take her apart? Why are you even asking me that?
Because she's not one piece.
What do you mean she's not one piece? You just said there's a girl in the freezer.
Yeah,
though.
well, you know what? She's in the freezer, but she isn't all one nice big piece anymore.
Oh my god.
So you see what I'm saying? The only reason that we even think you bought it in July is because you said so. How did I know you didn't buy it when you moved in? Because there was a dead girl on the floor and you didn't want your kids falling over. You see what I'm saying?
I get it.
I knocked on the door on July 17th. And on July 17th, that body moved. All the way to Camel.
I didn't even know you...
One of the days when I was knocking on the door and everybody was playing hide and seek with me was the day that the body got moved.
I'm being honest with you guys, though. The only reason I don't open that door is because what was going on with Tim and Tanya.
Okay, but how do I know it's not because that freezer was on the other side of the door with a girl in it and you were like, because that's how I would have been. You see what I'm saying?
No.
I'm knocking on the door and there's a dead girl in there and you got to be like...
I mean, I get it. I get it.
Okay.
get where you guys are coming from. I mean, I keep to myself. I work all the time. I take care of my kids.
Listen, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to take care of your kids and go to work. I don't care. You bought a freezer. He said, what freezer? You didn't say what freezer. You said, yeah, I bought a freezer. That's my new house.
Yeah, because I didn't have anything to hide.
Except a dead girl who used to be banging your boyfriend, and now you got all her shit. You do have something to hide. You are the picture of someone who has something to hide. You see what I'm saying? That's the point I'm trying to make.
I'm so confused.
What are you confused about? You bought a bunch of shit for a place. You bought a bunch of shit that you never used for a place that you've never been to. For a man who's been around on you, whose girlfriend is missing, and now she's in your freezer. What are you confused about? There's no confusion there for me. What I'm confused about is if you're not saying, God damn it, all right, this is what happened, and you know what, I hung tight for him, but I'm not going to prison and being away from my kid for the rest of my life. If you're not saying that, then I got to be thinking, you killed her.
I'm telling you, I don't know how she got there. I didn't kill her.
This is going to be really bad. You're going to go over to the jail, and by tomorrow your booking picture's going to be all over the newspaper.
Yeah, I realize this.
You're going to be on TV.
I realize this. For something I didn't do.
Well,
you're telling me that there's this parts of a body that are fitting in a freezer. I can't even wrap my head around it. I can't. Who does stuff like that?
Either you or him.
Well, it wasn't me.
Both.
It wasn't me. That freezer did not get over there by me.
I know. Doesn't matter.
I did not put it there.
Totally agree with you. Never said you did.
I did not put her in it.
Didn't say you took it over there. Don't know if you put her in it.
I definitely didn't put her in it.
Wouldn't have took much.
That girl weighed more than I did.
Yeah.
I can tell by pictures.
Yeah, but not now she don't.
I can't lift over 10 pounds.
That's about the size of the pieces.
I'm saying I cannot lift over
10
pounds because of my back and my shoulder.
They're trying to figure out why break her up like that. Because he could have picked her up easy. You see what I'm saying? Everything you say makes it sound like it's you. You couldn't pick her up. Okay, that explains a lot. Because he could. He could pick her right up and pop her in there, not a problem. You couldn't. Unless you made her into small pieces. Which just happens to be what happened.
That's just gross.
I know. This is going to get crazy, and you have children who are going to go to school,
I know.
and they're going to say, your mommy chopped people up. How many did you get? You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm trying to put this thing down now.
No, I realize that.
And this is going to be ugly and
I know.
Public.
I know.
Very public.
I know.
You understand that this is the kind of thing that may bring, like, CNN here?
Yeah.
Okay. No matter how bad it is, I need to know what happened to Shannon. And hope to God that is her.
I mean,
Because if that ain't her, I don't know what to tell you.
I know that I did not do anything to her.
Okay.
I know I didn't do anything.
Tell me what you know about what happened to Shannon. Please tell me that is Shannon. Because if it's not Shannon, we're going to have... I don't know what's going to happen here. Tell me that is Shannon. Tell me it's not somebody else, because I got some other missing girls right now.
I don't even know how to answer that.
I'm asking you. Please tell me that is her and it's not somebody else.
I don't know if it's her because I didn't put it there.
I mean, I'm pretty sure she's been dead a while. You know, I mean, we'll know exactly how much, but I'm saying March. Like the week you moved in, she moved out the hard way. Katrina, I started knocking on your door, and it appears to have created a reaction. It appears that when I knocked on your door on that Monday morning, and I got no answer, and I started looking around that apartment, it caused this body to be moved in that freezer. I'm trying to think of every possible reason why, even though everything's doing this to you, it's not you. I'm trying. Okay?
What I'm saying is, if I for 1 second even thought that there was a dead body in a freezer, I mean,
considering the fact that I have my kids
Yeah.
and everything else,
All that.
I mean, I would have came to you guys
Okay.
because of the fact that that's my kids. That's, you know, my job, my career.
I
Like,
know. I'm just. This is how it looks.
I get that. I just don't. That's her in there. I didn't have nothing to do with it.
Oh, it's not her in there. Did you have something to do with it?
I didn't have nothing to do with it either way.
Okay. You have anything to do with the girl in the freezer?
No.
Okay.
I don't have anything to do with the fact that she's dead, that she's in a freezer, or how she got over there. Here's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
Here's what I'm telling you.
Okay.
I want to be able to go home to my kids.
Well, I understand that, but you got to understand something here. I'm not about to trade. I mean, how would you feel if somebody said, "Well, I just want to go home to my kids, so I'm going to tell you whatever you want to hear"?
No,
that's
no,
not what we're doing.
That's not
Listen,
what I'm
when
doing.
I talk about,
That's not
listen,
what I'm doing.
I'm talking about bolt of
I know,
lightning,
and
knock
this
me
is-
off my horse kind of
this
shit
is-
is what I'm looking for.
This is why.
That's what I'm looking for. Okay? And
This-
you got to understand, you may have a problem here anyhow, depending on what it is you got to talk about.
I need basically to know what to do to be able to go home to my kids because I had nothing to do with this.
Well,
I had nothing
here's what
to
I'm going to tell you.
What do I do?
With everything I know right now, you're going to be charged with abuse of a corpse. And you're going to go tonight. The longer this goes on, the more it looks like you're just doing what you got to do to save your own ass. And I'm exhausted. I mean, I'm sorry, but it's been 8 hours and that's it. That's all I got. You may come out of this fine. I kind of get the feeling you won't, but you may. It happens. What I think might happen here is you killed this girl.
I didn't kill her.
Okay, well, listen, it's not that I don't believe you, but I don't believe you. You see what I'm saying? Because I have to keep that as a possibility. You guys are neck and neck on the finish line here, you know what I mean? And what it's going to come down to is who says what first, period. That's what it always comes down to in these kinds of situations.
No.
We're past the part, this thing, this reuniting thing, you got to know it's done, right? Like, no matter what happens after today, this is done. You and him, you're not going to end up in the same place. I don't think. So unless you got that lightning bolt, we got to go. And I am exhausted.
I feel like I got into a mess that I didn't expect to get into.
Well, that's what everybody's saying. That's what.
And I don't.
That's what Andrew's saying.
I don't.
Poor Andrew's like, I think I helped him get rid of the dead girl stuff because he thought we were arresting.
The whole situation scared me.
I understand.
The whole situation scared me.
Listen, I get all of that. If you told me right now this is what really happened, I would completely understand you because this kind of thing doesn't happen to most people every day. Just because I go through it 12 times a year doesn't mean you do. You know what I got to say? I like to stay in this room until you tell me the truth or you ask for an attorney. And I don't like to walk out that door until I have the truth or you ask me for an attorney. So what I'm going to ask you to do right now is this. Stop everything else. 2 things. Tell me what happened or ask for an attorney. Because I'm not going to be able to rest knowing that I didn't stay in here as long as I possibly could with you. So which way is it going to be? You're there. I can see it. I can look at you right now and tell that you are about had it with this because I am too.
I just...
Either tell me the truth or ask for an attorney, please, so we can end this because this has been way too long. Even I think you've been in this room too long.
I'm really scared that I'm going to go to jail. There's something I didn't do.
Okay. I will tell you that I will keep working every possible lead to do one of 2 things, because I have 2 jobs, to either catch you for what you did or free you for what you didn't do. I have 2 jobs. Now, in the meantime, one of 2 options here. Tell me you want to stop talking, you want to speak to an attorney, or tell me what it is you've been holding back. Because if there's one thing I know from being in this room with you this long, you've got something that you're not telling me. And I don't know how bad it is. At this point, it really doesn't matter. However bad it is, things are going to instantly get better when you tell me. So, one or the other. Okay, because it's like 3 o'clock, I think.
I know.
It's 3 o'clock.
When I moved in there, he seemed fine with everything. He seemed calm. He seemed like Nothing was wrong.
Are you telling me that something happened in the car on the way home from Akron?
I don't know.
Okay. I'm asking you what you're telling me because you just pitched out a totally new scenario that you haven't said up until now.
I don't know if that's what happened. And
did he get in the fight with her in the car on the way home and dump her body, then have to go get it? Is that what you're saying here?
I mean, it could be what
Listen,
happened.
Is that what happened? Because that is such an abstract thing to pull out. But the good thing about it is this: nobody put that in your head in this room. So if you're saying that, that is such an oddball thing to pull out of your butt to say that it's believable.
I feel like it's a possibility.
Okay, well, why would that be a possibility?
I mean, just because they used to both get trouble all the time. Coming home from
Okay,
the bar.
did he tell you something happened on the way home from the bar? And then he dumped the body somewhere?
He didn't say that he dumped it, but he said that they got into an argument.
On the way home from the bar?
Yeah.
And what happened?
And he just said that they got into an argument. And I asked him, what happened, and he said nothing, just everything's fine. And then, shortly after, that's when we moved in, and she was nowhere to be found. Okay. And I hadn't seen her since. I mean, I might have to get an attorney. I don't know, because I don't have enough information for you. I don't have exactly what you're looking for. I don't think. I don't really know.
I think you do. I think you do.
It's just
I think you have the ability.
He never flat out admitted anything.
I think when you start talking about rides from Akron and fights in cars and bodies dumped, I think you have the right information. I don't know why we would go that far down that road and stop, but like I said, it's really late. So,
I don't know.
So honestly,
I can't say that he killed her because he didn't admit to me that he killed her.
Okay. So do me a favor here. You want to talk to the lawyer?
I mean, do I need to?
I'd like to end this. So if you say lawyer, I can end this because I'm exhausted here.
I mean, I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do.
Based on the evidence gathered so far, police book Arturo and Katrina on abuse of a corpse charges. During the search of Arturo, the police located a lock key. The key fit the padlock on the freezer that housed the body. The following day, investigators received word back from the coroner's office. After the body thawed, saline was injected into the fingers to rehydrate them. Within a few hours, the coroner was able to lift a fingerprint and positively confirm that the body was Shannon Graves. However, the coroner was unable to determine the cause of death because her head was missing. The detectives shared the disturbing news with Shannon's family. Shannon's half-sister Debbie described it as a nightmare. She wondered how someone could do what they did to Shannon. With Arturo and Katrina's mugshots plastered across the local news, a witness who had interacted with the two came forward.
So, the reason you're here is you saw our people on TV.
Yep.
Okay. You saw Katrina Layton and Anthony Gonzalez.
Yes, sir.
He made some kind of internet order.
Yes.
What they shipped to Walmart to save on the shipping.
Yes, sir.
And it came in batches, not all at once.
Not at once.
But by the 11th of March.
Yes, sir.
All of the items that he ordered
were in.
And
yes.
What were those items?
They were bottles of sulfuric acid. I don't know if it was drains of sulfuric acid. My paperwork just said,
Sulfuric acid.
Yes.
All right. Bottles of it.
Yes.
Anything else?
No. You either have to give me an order number or a photo ID.
Okay. But verify that you didn't give somebody's stuff
to the wrong person.
Else,
correct.
And then your real customer comes in and like, hey, where's my stuff?
Correct.
Okay, that makes sense. So on the 11th, you're working.
Yes, sir.
And both of these people that were on TV, Katrina and Anthony, come to the place.
Yes, sir.
And tell you that they'd been there the night before.
Yes, sir.
That they couldn't get what they ordered, and now they want it.
Yes.
Okay. So now you're looking into the order.
Yes.
And what happens?
So then I go, obviously your name is not Chicken Man. I cannot give you this order.
Okay.
He goes, my phone must have auto-filled it in.
Gotcha.
Okay. Possible it happened. I go, but I still can't give it to you because that's not your name. I go in there, his email was chickenman at like Gmail or something, you know. So I said, okay, let me go discuss this with my manager and see what they say about what we can do.
Okay.
So I go to AP because this is like, I have already contacted them about the crazy boxes under Chicken Man coming in. So they knew. They wanted me to come in there when they came in. So I did. So I go in there and she looks at them on camera. She's like, okay, do they see? I'm like, they seem a little funny, but said their drain's clogged. And that Chicken Man was her email. She said, okay, so can they like add an alternate pickup person? Because that's something you can do too. So if you can't make it in to pick it up, you can go back into your Walmart account and you can add somebody to pick it up for you. Okay. I will add their name to their account.
Right.
I said, I don't know, I could see, you know, sometimes that does take 24 hours to update.
AP wants a proper identification of
Correct.
somebody on this.
Right.
Okay.
So I said, okay, that's fine. So I went out there, I said, if you guys can add one of you guys' name to the account to properly pick it up, then I can properly release it to you. Mm-hmm. Katrina's like, okay, and she added her name to it.
From her phone?
From her phone, right in front of me.
Okay.
I said, okay, well, it could take 24 to 48 hours to update. Sometimes it does.
Yeah.
But she got lucky. It went right through.
Okay.
So I said, okay. She gave me her ID. I looked at her ID. It matched. I said, all right.
She put her name in,
mm-hmm.
authorizing her
to pick
it up.
Mm-hmm.
She did.
Yes. Yes, sir.
And then she gave you her ID to prove she was who she said she was. Mm-hmm. And now you have proper ID.
Yes, sir.
Okay. At any point, do we ever identify Chicken Man?
No. Chicken Man never gives an ID. He just stands there.
Anything else you think is pertinent to all this? Or?
It's just crazy.
Yeah.
It's like eating me.
Yeah.
To know two people can stand in front of you and possibly have done something so...
Well, here's what you need to know, okay?
Gruesome?
At this point...
It's scary.
At this point, I believe this girl's already dead. So it's not... They didn't use this to kill her.
Right.
That's not what they did.
But to know that
yeah.
they were still standing in front of you after they did it is frightening because we were this close.
Yeah, I know.
And they looked at me like, how can you go about a normal day?
Months pass as investigators build their case against Arturo and Katrina. As Katrina's trial date approaches, she takes a plea deal. This deal required her to divulge the truth about what happened to Shannon. Detectives discuss Katrina's version of events during a third interview with Andrew Herman.
Andrew,
yes, sir.
This is our third interview. We were asked to find you, get a third interview because of some new information in the case. When I came to find you, you and your wife asked if you need a lawyer. Said that it's up to you. You have a lawyer. Even though you're sitting here with your lawyer, I still have to read you your rights. We're getting a little more accusatory in our conversation here, and that's the reason. Okay. During Katrina's dealings so far, she has since decided to cooperate against Arturo, has got herself an OR bond. She's out of jail now. And on top of testifying against her, she intends to testify against you. Specifically that you aided in the dismemberment of Shannon Graves after she was dead. At no point did she say that you killed her or anything prior to her being dead. But her story was that Arturo came home one night. She's dead in the car. She couldn't help him move the body because she's too small, so he called you. You came over, and the two of you took this body apart in the garage of her house. So that's why we're here. The prosecutors asked us to come find you, tell you this, confront you with this new evidence, and see what you had to say about it.
It's untrue.
So at no point did you help Arturo chop up a body.
No.
Katrina was specific about this, you being the one that helped him. I've always felt from our conversation here that you know a little bit more about what's going on. I've always felt that. I'll be honest with you about it. We've spent a lot of time in this room. And that much time, I mean, what I think doesn't really matter a whole lot. But I spent a lot of time with you in here, and I think maybe you know a little bit more. And I would much rather use that against the main characters in this. I don't no part of me feels like you killed this woman. I don't see why you would.
We don't see any motive to it.
I have no reason to believe that.
There is none.
You're obviously closer to this than we are. You're in a position to know more than we know. If that's the case, I would much rather hear it from you and use it against them than hear it from them and try to use it against you. The way things are right now, without that corroborating evidence, I don't know how I use it against you. So basically, we're just giving bonus points to killers. And I don't know. What I do, that doesn't sit well with us. But that's why we're here.
There's nothing I can provide.
Okay.
I've told you everything. I came down to the station before you two even came to my door.
I'm aware of that.
Right.
I'm aware of that. You came down here twice with us voluntarily. You came down a third time voluntarily. Now you're with counsel. It's 3 times.
I've been cooperative as I can.
Okay. Anything else?
With Andrew denying Katrina's version of events, the detectives searched for additional evidence to corroborate Katrina's story. As detectives searched for more evidence, they listened to Arturo's jailhouse phone calls. They heard a familiar voice on the other end of the line. It was Katrina. Her communications with Arturo violated her plea agreement. When notified of the communications, prosecutors revoked her plea deal. With Katrina's plea deal up in smoke, Andrew sees the opportunity to strike a deal with prosecutors. The agreement requires his truthful account of what happened and his testimony against Arturo and Katrina. The following is Andrew's version of events on the day Shannon was killed. Andrew receives a call from Arturo telling him to meet at Katrina's house. Once inside Katrina's house, Arturo shows Shannon's body to Andrew. Arturo tells Andrew that she was killed in her apartment and brought to Katrina's house. Arturo said that Shannon was bludgeoned to death by hammer strikes to the head. At the direction of Arturo, they dismembered Shannon's body using a machete. They placed Shannon's body in a 55-gallon drum. Katrina then recommended the idea of using sulfuric acid to help dispose of the body. They purchased the sulfuric acid and they removed Shannon's head and torso from one drum, put it in another drum, and poured the sulfuric acid on Shannon's head and torso. According to a detective, the sulfuric acid they had purchased wasn't sufficient to dissolve the body, as they had purchased off-brand sulfuric acid that was not 100% pure. With the sulfuric acid not working, Katrina bought a freezer for the remaining body parts. Andrew did express remorse for his role in the crime. Andrew said he agreed to participate because he feared he would be next if he didn't. In September 2018, prosecutors indicted Arturo Novoa and Katrina Layton for the murder of Shannon Graves. With the death penalty on the table, the two quickly made a deal. Arturo pled guilty to 47 of the 48 counts, including murder. Arturo Novoa received a sentence of 43 years in prison. Katrina pled guilty to tampering with evidence, obstruction of justice, and abuse of a corpse. Katrina Layton received a sentence of 18 years. For his cooperation, Andrew Herman pled guilty to tampering with evidence, abuse of a corpse, and engaging in a pattern of corrupt activity. Andrew received a sentence of 12 years. Shannon's circle of so-called friends stole her life. Shannon's family continues to mourn her loss and wonder what could have been. Shannon's dog Molly now lives with Debbie. Even with Arturo's murder conviction, it is believed by some, including a few investigators, that it was Katrina who killed Shannon. Let me know what you think in the comments.